I was born in Kansas City, Kansas, next door. So I'm on that. 13 is when I transitioned to Omaha. So then I graduated there, went to college at UNL, transferred to K-State. So I am a family studies human service major. I get my bachelor's in May. Kids don't have any. I've been writing since I was 12. It happened right after my great-grandmother passed away. And she passed away 10 days before my 13th birthday. So, and then I was, dealing with a lot of things. So poetry became my vent source. It became my release a lot of times outside of what normally, religious families have saying pray about everything and things like that. When it wasn't working, poetry was my outlet. From an early age, and then becoming a part of a blended family at the age of 6, where I was the oldest of 7 shortly after. And so when I was always relied on, and then what I couldn't express outwardly, I just stored. And then it really, like I said, I think breaking point would be the word for it, because it was when I lost the very first family member close to me that I, whereas other people, they've experienced death. I didn't until 12, and I still haven't. My great-grandmother was the only person that is in my life within, reach that, some people distant family and stuff, I've lost them. But for me personally, it was my great-grandmother. I've never lost anyone. And so that's what really triggered me to write. The very first title of my poem was called Why Do I Cry? It was just real simple A-B rhyme, and after that, I just kept writing. Found out I was kind of good at it. And then, plus, when I started taking, creative writing classes and things like that in high school, just to get, I knew I was good, so I was an easy A. But, I like essays, prose. I like doing short story. I'm big on papers. That's a necessity in college. So I'm good at that. I can do them, but to me, I'm a poet. So I've done talent shows, I've done open mic nights, done things for my church, both Omaha and here. My pastor actually just asked me to put together a poetry event. When it comes to my perspective of it and my viewpoint of it, poetry is more of a language in itself, and it's used to derive emotion. It a lot of times is used to express, feelings and things like that. But when you are able to take words and derive emotion from people versus just entertaining them with rhymes, it's a difference, because it has more depth. It's different if you were to read a poem in physical form. You see formatting, you see punctuation, things like that, things that they want you to put emphasis on. Versus if I do a spoken word, to me that's just a free write. I've done plenty of those, and then just to add a rhyme scheme is nothing. But to me that's like freestyling when you do rap, because I can freestyle too, but it's not the same. And then on top of that, what a lot of people don't even understand about poetry is that there are tons of format for poetry. One I actually was just up to like 4 in the morning just writing one, which is called a chant royale, which consists of 62 lines, 5 stanzas, and 11 lines of each stanza. And then plus it has a specific rhyme scheme that you follow. But when you do things in format like that, it takes time. It takes proper word choice. It takes, creating an image. A lot of times, when you hear spoken word or even rap, because like I said, a lot of people compare and be like, oh, you can be a rapper. That's not my intent. I don't want to entertain. If anything, I want to be able to inspire and motivate, or either get you to think when I've ended what I've done. I said that the other day to a friend of mine. I said, if God gonna keep allowing me to go through things and bump my head on my wall, I might as well make money off of it. And I could vent all day in poems and things like that, but it's not my intent. I don't want to just sit there and tell you how hard it's been for me going from relationship to relationship, because I can easily do that. But it's different if I'm using what I experienced to then flip the script and say, hey, this is what I was going through when I did it, this is how I came out of it, and this can be your outcome too. or either I could flip it and even make you realize like, oh, I can relate to that girl. I was that girl. Because to me, what makes my creativity different is that I can write from almost any perspective. I can make you think it was me and I done made up something. Or I can sit there and get you to, like I said, believe you were that person because of my word choice, or because how I know how to play on words, or because I know how to create rhythm. And a lot of times I pay attention to the audience or demographic that I'm focusing on and what appeals to them. Like, I know on Mondays I had started a trend, just Motivate Men Monday, and I just posted a poem just about men empowerment. And I don't know how many people was watching it and think about it. Then I turned around and did the Worth of a Woman Wednesday, and then I turned around and did a poem called Pretty on the Inside. You know, it's because I know how to hit each and every area. But it's one thing is that a lot of people ask me like, who's your favorite poet? And I would say David, and they're like, David who? I was like, you don't read the Book of Psalms? You don't read? Because I mean, so many people think that poetry is something that just ended up here with Shakespeare and all that other stuff, and I'm like, no, it actually was created from the beginning. Or even like Ecclesiastics, like I said, Song of Solomon. I like the Bible. Me personally, you can tell the difference between poetry and spoken word, or even rap and things like that, if you look at them in their physical form. Because one is broken up into verses and things like that, and a lot of times your first verse don't even have to connect with what the rest of what you said. Then you got a hook in there, or chords that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Then you can hear a spoken word, and it sounds good when someone's saying it, but can I still take the same, emotion and things like that and interpret it in your writing? And that to me is what I like about poetry, is because as a poet, I can write something and know my whole intent behind it. But if I was to give it to you or y'all would read it and be like, well, this is actually what I got from it. This is how I actually interpret. Oh no, I didn't even know you saw that. But they're speaking their intent that they want the listener to take. So to me, it can be this one track. Whereas in poems, it can take you wherever you want to go. It's Kiana. And then most of the time I do an _ LASHAYIA, and that's LaShayia.